President Trump issues an executive order on gender, how local transgender advocates are reacting to the decision.
President Trump is also putting a large focus on immigration. We'll hear from a local organization highlighting Latino resources in Madison.
Plus, the city of Middleton swears in a new police chief, what his top priority is for the department. You're watching News 3 now at 5. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Susan Simon. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. A few flurries are on the way for southern Wisconsin.
And warmer weather is in the forecast as well. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is on the weather patio with how warm the weekend will get. Alex?
Yes, we got all of the above in the forecast. Flurries, warmer weather. And then a little bit later in Maine weather, I'm going to talk about a bigger weather system that we need to have a conversation about. First, the flurries tonight. We'll look at Radar 3000 in just a moment as part of the 3 things you need to know. Expecting a dusting, but let's track that in just a moment. Sunday is going to be the sunnier of the 2 days this upcoming weekend, and much of next week is still looking above normal. No flurries in Dane County right now. No flurries out here on the patio. You got to go a little bit further to the west, stretching from Minneapolis down to La Crosse. Not a lot of snow, just a few flurries and a couple of snow showers that will work their way towards the east tonight. We'll use Future Track here, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. They sweep through the Madison area and all of southern Wisconsin. Then they're out of here by later tonight. In Maine weather, I'll show you some projections on how much snow we could get out of this little batch of light snow. Right now, we're at 16 in Madison, 18 in Lone Rock, 18 in Janesville, 15 to the east because we had clear skies and sunny conditions, warmer weather to the southwest because we have warm air coming up from the south and from the west. It's going to help to fuel these few flurries overnight tonight. Again, temperature 17 in Deerfield, contrast to 18 in the western side of Dane County in Cross Plains. Planning our evening, temperatures in the teens, working their way into the 20s as warmer air comes in. How warm will we get? We'll look at that at the 10-day forecast. We got a weather system that I want to talk about a little bit later too in Maine weather.
All right, thank you, Alex. Dane County deputies have arrested 2 men for felony OWI offenses. The first arrest came around 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon. A 60-year-old man was taken into custody on South Fair Oaks Avenue near Garver Green. He faces charges of 5th offense OWI. The second arrest happened the same night, a little before 11. Deputies were called to County Highway P and Stagecoach Road in Cross Plains, and that's where they found a pickup truck rolled onto its roof. The 37-year-old driver was found hiding on Main Street, and he is now charged with 7th offense OWI, cocaine possession, and resisting arrest. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says it could not substantiate anything criminal in its investigation into a potential school threat. Today, the Wisconsin Heights School District closed all schools after a potential danger to school safety was reported. The Sheriff's Office spoke with students connected to the threat and found no immediate danger to school. Dane County Sheriff says the systems in place worked exactly as they should. Among President Trump's series of executive orders is one that takes aim at what his administration calls gender identity.
The order says the government will only recognize men as, quote, biologically male and women as, quote, biologically female based on their sex at birth. Arman Rahman spoke to a community and advocacy group in Madison on how this impacts the communities they support. Arman?
Sarah and Susan, Trump calls the executive order defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Groups I spoke to here say it's only restoring fear in their communities.
It's a little much. I mean, I just got my passport renewed like 3 days before he got in there.
Uncertainty now hangs in the air for Tessa Price and others with her group Trans Advocacy Madison. President Trump's new executive order, among other things, directs federal agencies to require that all government-issued IDs, including passports, quote, accurately reflect the holder's sex.
It does feel different. It feels like we're in danger. It feels like we're under attack.
Trans Advocacy Madison provides a platform for the trans and non-binary community. But Price says now they feel the need to get more vocal, planning to have rallies soon.
I think it's a weird combination of trying to prepare for what he's trying to do while still understanding that we have strength and we have power in our community.
Trump's executive order says the idea that men can transition to women and vice versa is something all, quote, institutions of society should regard as false. Advocates say this rhetoric is harmful to transgender youth who are already under a lot of pressure.
It can impact people's decisions about what kind of study they're going to go into. Are they going to be able to go into certain careers, and are they going to be welcome there?
Doug Rowe just started as the grants manager at Outreach LGBTQ+ Community Center after working with kids before. The executive order also directs federal agencies not to use funds to promote, quote, gender ideology.
Hopefully, we'll still, be able to use the same funding to help unhoused people. Not all of the unhoused people we help are transgender.
Steve Starkey is the executive director. He says Outreach is doing research and consulting with lawyers about what the laws are, but says in the meantime,
we will want to continue supporting the transgender community in any way that we can. I think we will probably be upping our services to that community.
And Outreach LGBTQ+ Community Center also offers a community pantry, cyber center, and harm reduction services.
Armand, thank you. President Trump is taking the first trip of his second administration to visit communities recovering from recent disasters. President Trump and the First Lady, Melania, visited North Carolina to see firsthand the damage left behind by Hurricane Helene 4 months ago. It was the president's first stop on a disaster tour that will also take him to Los Angeles later today. During his North Carolina stop, the president said he will sign an executive order to reform, overhaul, or dismantle FEMA.
I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster.
The president's visit coincides with the annual anti-abortion rights rally in Washington, D.C. Vice President J.D. Vance spoke at the event during his first public appearance since being sworn in.
The newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk, is looking for ways to cut federal spending. Today, the department made a social media post describing how scaling back production of the U.S. penny could be a cost-saving measure. The price of manufacturing and distributing the penny is nearly 4 cents. Compared to its monetary value of just 1 cent. Reducing or eliminating penny production is not a new suggestion, though. It has been tossed around for years. Well, the start of tax filing season is less than a week away. The IRS will begin accepting 2024 federal tax returns on Monday. The deadline to file will be April 15th, and the agency's direct file program will also be open in 25 states, including Wisconsin. That allows eligible tax filers to file their taxes directly with the IRS for free.
Among the local groups reacting to the second Trump term, Centro Hispano.
The organization advocates for the Latino community in Madison, and they met this week with other advocates as part of a summit hosted by Dane County Congressman Mark Pocan. Political reporter Will Keneally sat down with their executive director and has the latest.
Well, as we've seen throughout the campaign and with President Trump's executive orders this week, immigration will be a major focus of the next 4 years. Centro Hispano this week wanted to highlight some of the resources that they provide to the Latino community in Madison, things like connecting community members with legal resources. We spoke with Executive Director Karen Menendez-Collar at the Centro.
There are a lot of services that we do when it comes to immigration, resource navigation, programming that we do in the schools around leadership development. Central to that is their joy and their humanity. So we want them to laugh. We want them to be completely vulnerable with who they are. And once they leave this building, we want them to tell that story and to share in that joy and that humanity.
Now you can see more from our interview with her coming up this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record.
We will see you Sunday, Will. Thank you. The Secretary for Wisconsin's Department of Financial Institutions is retiring at the end of the month. Governor Tony Evers announcing the move today. Secretary Cheryl Olson Collins was appointed to the position in January of 2022. Olson Collins has served under 3 governors during her time with the DFI in various positions. She will be succeeded by Wendy Bauman. Bauman's appointment is effective February 17th.
Well, the city of Middleton is welcoming its newly appointed police chief. Today, Middleton held a swearing-in ceremony for Police Chief Stephen Thompson. Thompson previously served in a variety of roles at the New Berlin Police Department. Chief Thompson says school safety is a top priority for his department.
We've had an unfortunate amount of events of school shooters and active assailants in schools, and I want to make sure that Middleton is doing everything we can to make sure that that doesn't happen here.
Chief Thompson's official first day on the job will be Monday.
Well, after the break at 5, the FDA is recalling a popular face moisturizer.
And flu hospitalizations are on the rise. Why doctors say this recent trend could get worse. That's next. And on Wall Street today, it was a bad day for the market. The Dow dropping 140 points, while the Nasdaq fell 99. The S&P dropped 17. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back, everyone. We are in the heart of winter and respiratory virus season.
There's a lot of sickness going around right now, and UW Health says flu cases and hospitalizations are on the rise in Wisconsin. In early December, there were no hospitalizations at UW Health for the flu, but by this week, there have been 40. That's the highest level of flu-related hospitalizations that have been reported at UW in the last 3 years. UW Health's Director of Infection Prevention says we've probably not reached the peak of flu season yet.
It'll definitely be a few more weeks before we really feel like it's convincingly headed downwards. The good news is that usually happens. It doesn't usually go up and just stay up for the rest of the time.
According to the latest data from the health system, around 33% of patients tested positive for the flu in the last week.
And much of the U.S., is trying to stay warm due to the bitter cold conditions. But unfortunately, that's why now is when we see the most deaths from carbon monoxide. About 100 people die in the U.S. every year from CO poisoning from portable generators. That's according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Experts recommend installing CO alarms on every level of your home and even outside sleeping areas. It's also important to check the batteries regularly.
Number 2, get a professional inspection of your furnace and your other fuel burning appliances every year. And 3, never use a portable generator inside your home. That's where we see the most number of deaths related to carbon monoxide.
And while everyone is at risk, the CDC says infants, older adults, and people with heart disease or breathing problems are more likely to get sick from carbon monoxide.
A popular face moisturizer is being pulled from store shelves. First Aid Beauty has voluntarily recalled nearly 2,800 containers of its Ultra Repair Cream in coconut vanilla. According to the FDA, the product recall is the result of a current good manufacturing practice deviation. Officials say jars were supposed to be quarantined, but were mistakenly distributed nationwide. The moisturizer was sold exclusively on firstaidbeauty.com. Well, last week, the FDA banned the use of red dye number 3. Manufacturers now have 2 years to remove the dye from foods, but experts say you don't have to wait to eliminate the substance from your diet. Doctors with the Cleveland Clinic, recommend avoiding all synthetic dyes, not just red 3. And you can do that by eating whole foods, reading labels on drinks, and using alternatives like fruit and vegetable extracts fruit and vegetable extracts to color foods.
None of these food dyes are necessary. They're not healthy. They do not provide any nutrition. So there's no harm in eliminating them. You're only creating more health benefits.
Red dye number 3 is also listed as red 3 and FD-ANC red number 3 on nutrition labels.
Well, it looks like flurries will make their way into the region overnight.
The weekend is here and a warm-up will soon follow. Meteorologist Alex Harrington is here with a first look at the forecast. That's good news, Alex.
Yes, it sure is. A little flurry activity, make it feel like winter and look like winter. And we got a couple of flurries on radar 3000 just off to the west of Dane County, and then we'll warm up because we are out of the deep freeze. Enter the yellow glasses for a warm up in the temperatures. We've got those flurries over there at 18 west of Dodgeville over towards Lancaster, just west of Platteville. Not overly extensive, but a couple of flurries. They may be struggling to make it to the ground as well. The flurries move through the area as we go through the 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock hour. By the time we get to the 10 o'clock newscast, I likely will be tracking these flurries just east of Madison. It's a quick little bout of flurries, but but there are a few more flurries in the forecast that we see on future track here as we go into Saturday. Watch as we go through the Saturday morning hour. A couple little dots there and a few snow showers just north of Madison right around the lunch hour on Saturday. Those scoot off towards the east. We might even break into a little bit of partly sunny skies later in the day on Saturday. Overall amounts, a dusting, perhaps a half-inch well north of Madison. Very similar to many of these other little snows that we've had that haven't mounted to a whole lot. Temperatures out there for lows tonight will do about 16. In fact, much of southern Wisconsin will see overnight temperatures right in the upper teens, and then they'll actually increase and inch their way up into the 20s overnight. That's why you see 20s surrounding a 16 in Madison. Then we'll all do lower 30s, bit on the breezy side, those few flurries, but maybe some afternoon sunshine. And these temperatures are 5 degrees above normal. Taking a look at the next 10 days here, Monday all the way up to 40 degrees. A little cold front at the end of the day on Monday could bring a couple of snow flurries Monday night. Staying in the 30s through much of this week with just on and off chances for flurries. But take a look at next weekend. There's a weather system that could be of significance. I started mentioning this last night at the 10 o'clock newscast. We're keeping an eye on potentially a wintry mix for southern Wisconsin, and this is an idea of how that may pan out. This is the European weather model. This is the American weather model. We just got an update actually right now. The 18Z, the afternoon update just came in. If this verifies, and I want to keep the note here on the snow because I know many folks in southern Wisconsin are looking for some snow. GFS is showing a few inches, maybe 1 to 2 inches, and the European model a little bit more, showing anywhere between 2, 3, 4, maybe some isolated higher amounts of 4 to 6. Now this in southwest Wisconsin, this is 10 days out, but we want to give you that first heads up. Confidence is increasing in the potential for some snow and wintry precipitation next weekend. Now our bluebirds here, can you believe it? They're sticking around this winter here. Thanks, JD, sending us this photo, and I appreciate you giving them that water because they need it. And then a pretty sunrise sunset from Westfield. We had a Westfield picture yesterday. Andrew from Westfield sent us one in today. Isn't that a nice picture there, folks?
Very nice. Our sunsets have been beautiful
Yes,
lately.
they have.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
You bet.
Thanks, Alex. When we come back, pandas make their way back to the U.S. How visitors are reacting to the National Zoo's latest residents.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The panda partnership between the U.S. and China is back in full view, with the nation's newest pair making their public debut at the Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington.
Reporter Caitlin Huey Burns was there for what we can probably call the best assignment of the day.
It's pandemonium at the National Zoo in Washington. The gates swung open and crowds rushed in for a glimpse of 3-year-old giant pandas Bao Li and Xing Bao on public display for the first time Friday. This family made the trip from Cleveland, Ohio.
It's just fantastic to be able to experience this as a family.
The giant pandas arrived special delivery back in October and took a few months to settle in. Zoo officials say the pandas have adapted well to their new home.
It's fun to get to know them, what they like, what they don't like. Qingbao loves to climb trees, so her happy place, she'll just climb to the top of a tree and be happy up there.
The pandas are more than just cute. They're part of a conservation program, a historic partnership between the U.S. and China going back half a century. The panda house at the National Zoo has been empty for more than a year after a previous panda agreement expired. But a new deal brings these furry friends back for at least the next decade.
These animals don't come cheap. The zoo pays its Chinese counterparts $1 million a year, but they figure they make that up in revenue inside the park with so many new visitors coming, and that all goes to panda conservation efforts.
What do you like about them?
I like their bamboo.
If you can't make the trip to see the pandas in person, the Smithsonian's got you covered. The zoo relaunched the giant panda cam if you need a little pick-me-up during the day.
I just love how roly-poly and pudgy they are and how they walk all funny. Everything about them is just the cutest.
A little cuteness goes a long way. Caitlin Huey-Burns, CBS News, Washington.
Oh, you gotta love that story. I'll get a look at what some are calling a glimpse of the future. The tech curious at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland this week got to see a demonstration of Meta's Orion augmented reality glasses. The wearable tech uses holographic projection, that's easy to say, allowing users to see graphics in their field of view. So the glasses have eye tracking that acts like a mouse cursor, and then a wristband to read movement signals from the brain.
You're looking at the physical world, and we're overlaying digital content on top of it. It allows for things like having a virtual TV on the wall, walking down the street and having arrows overlaid on the street where you're supposed to make a turn instead of having to look at a screen.
That sounds scary to me, I'm not gonna lie. Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg has suggested that smart glasses will replace smartphones as the main mode of communication in the future.
Alex has a final check of the weather, the weekend forecast when we come back.
On this Friday night, the wait is over. A new pair of giant pandas make their public debut in the nation's capital. We'll take you behind the scenes of today's pandemonium at the National Zoo. That and more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
You gotta love this story. Over in England, a pizza place is declaring war on a topping of pizza, pineapple. Lupa Pizza in the English city of Norwich has slapped a staggering $120 price tag if you want any of the pineapple. So the sizzling debate has exploded apparently on social media.
I love it.
I love it too.
Oh, good. Thank you, Alex.
Yes.
With passionate pizza connoisseurs tossing in their 2 cents, at last check, the pineapple poll was split 50-50. So far, no one has been willing to put their money where their mouth is and order a slice.
But now everyone knows of that pizza place.
That's right. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
No.
No, really?
No, I'm very picky. I like plain cheese.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
Barbecue chicken pizza with pineapple. You got the savory and the barbecue and the sweet.
Stop it.
Pineapple,
We're
and
starving.
Dinner
Last
time
night,
soon.
Alex's stomach was growling, and he said, "Is there thunder out here?"
You should know.
No thunder this weekend, just temperatures much, much warmer than what we've been experiencing. Could see a flurry in above normal temps all next week.
Thanks for watching, everybody. First one together, first one down. The blue team. We'll see you back here tonight at 6, everybody.